dynamic duo that I thought would stand the test of time, going to show why they were both so successful in their career. And let's go ahead and do this, SLC. Shopify versus FaZe. We're starting things off with Lucid. Ooh.
Lucid almost getting that trade onto Royal 2, but Royal 2 always kind of sneaking around. He's always at the right place at the right time.
Royal 2 now. He's navigating the field here. Ooh, a little bit of a ghost melee there. Does not connect. Would love to have that one back, but that, hey, better now than later on in the game.
Just trying to perfectly optimize that. I mean, especially on land, he's trying to just land that melee and thrust away so he's not exchanging that damage and just comes back to bite him. Just that millisecond difference.
Yeah, he lunged in, backed out. That's a problem. But that being said, though, it's still going to be Shopify Rebellion holding down control and right in the middle, courtesy of that camo that Frosty had. Now he's just going to have to back away from this one. Smart plays, plenty to work for here. If you are Shopify, but for FaZe, they got to get going because Shopify built up a considerable lead on this first hill.
Yeah, eventually they're going to have to take control of the center of the map, but it might be too late by the time they get there.
Very well might be. Cycle, though, on a killing spree. Certainly one of the reasons why you're seeing Shopify Rebellion find so much success. Two players are going to be right behind that truck, and here comes Cycle with a shot. Manages to hit one, but it's not going to be enough for the kill.
Yeah, and be careful what you wish for here when you're on FaZe. You're like, hey, we'd like to get the center of this map. We'd love to get snipe side. By the time they have it, they're still getting kind of spawn trapped here. And if Shopify are able to keep FaZe spawning there over at snipe while capturing this hill, they're going to be perfectly set up for the yard hill.
Well, it does feel like, based on how they're rotating out of this, they might be trying
they're
to
just bailing on it.
Yeah, and just realize, hey, let's go ahead and set up for this next one because we know exactly where it's going to be, and we'd rather give ourselves a fighting chance than to be fighting up the hill as we have been for that first hill.
And look at that, Shopify not wasting any time to capture that one. We saw that on day one. What was it? FaZe kind of toying around with that first one of those hills, saying they wanted to get perfect spawns before they captured it and getting punished by TSM.
And at this level, especially against Shopify Rebellion, you won't be able to get away with things like that. Snakebite, though, does have that camo and eyes as well onto, that was going to be last shot there, who jumped up onto the snipe. It was not long for this world. We also have two more players actually tucked away right back here on blue side, and this is going to be Snakebite now. Really just putting the pressure and not allowing these players to be able to move. So many weak guys here. Nothing that they can do by the cafe.
All the info there, so much damage, but they're not going to be able to capitalize on it. They can't really push out and get those finishes. Interestingly enough, it looks like Shopify or FaZe pushing all the way over towards LR?
Yeah.
I don't know why they're bailing out that side. I guess they didn't want to just wait and be sitting ducks over in the yard.
Potentially. Of course, World 2 now in this 1v1. Now, big win for him, but instead it's going to be Penguin who gets the better of him in that exchange. And let's look at that bottom of the screen there. You see FaZe Clan looking real good on this first hill. They had to concede that, the second one. They had to concede the first because Shopify just ran away with it. So good on FaZe for reading the situation well and gaining a lot of progress on this one. So close to being able to score this, so close to being able to tie it up 1-1.
And oh my gosh, Frosty.
Never mind.
Breaking through the defenses here. This one isn't over. Yard is one of those hills that if you get control and you're spawning them across the map, it's really tough to break through. They have to go through so many narrow hallways, whether that's LR or whether that's over their cafe side.
Yeah.
And people just nade those, back them off.
Yeah, you have that one choke there on cafe, but then on the other side, it's just wide open. You got to climb a ramp. You got to jump up. You got to be clever. So tough. And this could very well be Shopify gaining this here, but oh, Frosty ran up on Lucid, gave the business. That's a double. Oh, I was going to say a double, but regardless, they still get those kills. That's going to be 3 down for FaZe Clan. Shopify can lock this one up.
Yeah, Penguin, kind of last one standing here, has to make a one-on-one charge here. Can he take out last shot? No. Panic charge. Tries to go with his teammate.
Oh,
and
man.
Frosty, or last shot, one-man army, holding everyone down.
Cycle can very well win this hill here and there, and it doesn't even need to happen. He's cool, he's chilling, he's got the camo, and that means Shopify's up 2-0, and they're already prepared for this west hill.
I like this pressure. You saw this at the very beginning hill, where Frosty just stayed inside the hill with camo. Instead of just trying to target kills, just scoops up all that time and puts the pressure against FaZe.
Certainly a situation that FaZe might not be too familiar with, given how things have been going for them in this tournament. There were some nail biters for sure and some close games without a doubt, but it does feel like Shopify are approaching this with a whole different kind of really just presence on the map, and they are not letting FaZe get away with anything.
They're just playing it so well, and
Yeah.
they're not trying to force takeover, snipe, or top lift. They're happy to concede it and fight from the side while scrapping up time, so they're doing a good job of, they're not just a sitting duck in the hill.
Yeah.
They're able to fight back, deal back damage, and not give away that free kill.
Yeah, and they're also just great at knowing when to just to bail, right? Hey, let's go ahead and double up here. Let's work together to try and clear this area. Keep giving you guys those good spawns. And this is exactly working out the way that Shopify would have liked here.
Just like that, Cycle just going to go right back into that hill. Has not received too much pressure here from top left, and just like that, Royal 2 finally pushing in towards that top snipe side.
With the way this is shaking out, this could very well be a cap here. Nothing that player could do. I believe that was Trippy trying to get into that hill, but it did not work out. And that's a 3-0 start here for Shopify Rebellion, and they look dominant.
Yeah, looking so good. And I don't disagree with the strategy. Sometimes you could just play the clock here at this point with 2 minutes left, but pressure has been working for Shopify. If you pump the brakes too hard and just say, hey, let's play defense for 2 minutes, FaZe are going to get wind of that. They're going to go for the right slays. They're maybe going to get in their comfort zone. Whereas if you keep pushing on the gas and putting this pressure onto FaZe, it'll be 4-0 before you know it.
Yeah, you really need to be relentless against teams like FaZe. Otherwise, guys like Snakebite, who have been great in this tournament, and let's not forget Trippy's consistency as well, would certainly come back to bite Shopify in the butt there. But as we see how FaZe are going to try and approach this one. Still not out of it yet, but with a minute 44 and counting, this is not going to get easier for the boys in red.
No, it's just being pretty challenging here. You also saw Trippy, even though he had camo, did not want to jump in that driveway hill. Didn't have enough kills on the map to justify it. You're going to get spotted out there, even though you have camo.
Last shot now sitting comfortably inside of this hill. Going to be dealing with 2 players in a second. That's going to be a clean back right onto Penguin, who was unsuspecting in that moment. Great jump up, good pressure as well that was coming in from the yard side. That's just going to open up the map there for them and give them everything they want. And Dave, this is looking like it could very well be curtains here, 4-0 if it keeps going like this.
Yeah, this one's looking to be Jover. I mean, 5 more seconds. Last shot's going to put
That's
this up.
it.
And FaZe, they're just going to bounce back from this one. They're going to say, hey, that was a rough game 1. Let that go. Move on.
Blink and you miss it. Oh boy, that was quick.
That was dominant.
Yeah, that really was. A Shopify Rebellion. It's actually going to be Frosty who nabs it right out of the break here. And oh, Penguin with a good stop. And that's going to bring that sniper back into the hands of FaZe.
Yeah, Trippy holding on to that for just now, but where can he escape to? Not many options. Runs right into cuts into last shot. Last shot going to also try to escape. Nope, I guess everyone's going to bring the sniper back down into the tunnel.
Yeah, everyone just, the sniper rifle's best when it's at the lowest position inside of a cave, isolated from everything else.
Gosh.
This is already a bad start here for FaZe because last shot's just moving around this map willy-nilly, and it feels like he's having a field day out there. We keep playing like this. Where's the help, though? Good repulse to send that nade back. A lot of weakened members here. The Shopify Rebellion need to play some defense, so wait, never mind. As a matter of fact, they're all going to be pinned. Can they fight out of this? They managed to survive. Cycle's the last player left alive, and they'll maintain their lead by 2.
Luckily getting out of there, but basically all power-ups, all power weapons burned at this point. Even game, essentially. We're going to see how Shopify decide to play this one out now that they no longer have snipe. Do they keep that pressure on that we saw from last shot? It looks like they are. Last shot all the way up in that window, but he kind of gives away a free kill against Snakebite. That's going to be 2. Make that 3 for FaZe. All those kills came right to them.
Yeah, that was right when that first kill happened. I think you probably would have wanted to double back there, but he did full commit, which I can respect. But it did cost them. It tied the game up, and it's still tied 10-10. They're just exchanging kills back and forth.
And you'll tend to see that happen more when you have these top teams. When they're making an aggressive push, they are committed together.
Yeah.
They're pushing out sometimes in obscure locations. And so you will see times if they're committing to that aggressive charge, it's either going to go well or you're going to see 3 or 4 just go down.
Yeah.
Whereas on the defensive side, players can rat a little bit more. Players can be a little bit out of the action, hide in a corner, buy some time.
Yeah. And if anything, though, that one play, Dave, that swing, that could have been a big moment for Rebellion, ended up going into a 4-kill lead for FaZe Clan. So they built off of that aggression that Shopify Rebellion showed quite well. And they'll just need to continue to let this one permeate as they look for opportunities with these spike grenades. Try and pick off a couple of stragglers here. Players like Frosty by the jump up. Seeing if he can outlive and just get away from the fight there. His former teammate Snakebite was the one that was sending the bullets in his way, but it does not work out for Snakebite. That said, though, it's now just going to be a one-kill game. As well done for Shopify Rebellion, right? You know, just when you think like maybe FaZe Clan are going to start peeling away with this one, Dave. No, Rebellion, they hold firm.
Look at this, just spotting everyone that he can. Knows at least where one call out is.
He does have nades for that.
I'm surprised he's not worried about his back, but maybe one of his teammates has already cleared that out. And look at, here comes a charge towards back green. A couple players red back there. There's Frosty clearing them both out.
And you were right about that one. He didn't have to worry about anything because those players, his teammates, were coming in through the garage side. Now, Last Shot has to be mindful because there could be some players coming in through the sneaky there, and he's got to get away with this snipe, which he does.
Yeah, he's not too worried, but he wanted to make sure Mud, because he saw those players kind of rotate out from Nest and wasn't sure where was where and where wasn't. But this is the comfort zone here for Shopify. They got Snipe, they got FaZe on the run.
They just need one more to be able to tie this one up, but FaZe Clan is making it very difficult for them to do so. Last Shot also has not been comfortable to be able to get clean shots. He got one shot earlier, and ever since then, he's kind of just been looking around for where that next one's going to come. Good pressure's being applied to him as well at the top tower. They know that they have to handle this, but while all that's going on, Rebellion managed to take that lead by one again.
Yeah, so much focus there on the Last Shot at the top tower, and not getting him, that's devastating. It's a good job to repulse there, just knowing that if nades were going to be flying in, that was the time.
Whew. Good shots there. Scan a couple of connections. Got 4 more left in the docket, though, to work with. Here, misses that second shot, but he's got 2 more rounds to work with now. What does he elect to do? He knows to
charge and use them.
I love it. Love to see it there. Trippy knows he was a little bit in a bad position, surrounded by 2 members of the Rebellion, and they're just going to go on the hunt.
Even if he didn't get those kills with the snipe, he's still not putting it in the hands of FaZe.
Yeah.
So that's one important part of being an aggressive sniper. If you're getting in the face of the opposing team, you better make sure to either kill them or use that ammo.
Yeah. Use it all. Don't let them have any of it to work with. But what a close game this has been as we approach the halfway mark in the Slayers. 25-24. He does not get closer than this. But a good recovery, I would say, from FaZe, given how things had panned out in map 1 versus where things are right now. This is more or less what I had expected in that first map from FaZe, truthfully. But now we're starting to see FaZe kind of get themselves back going here.
Yep, and this camo, another one in the hands of Last Shot. Just on top of these power-ups every single time they're popping.
And that is a tough one there for FaZe because if you don't have these power items, you're not picking up those power weapons, it's going to be a lot more challenging to be able to win out on a Slayer.
Look at this, just trying to jump up and get all the info he can.
Which is pretty smart there. Good use of the camo. We've been seeing so many interesting variations with it, right? Back in the day, it was always like the sneaky play, you know, get the back wax or something like that. But also now it's players just really taking advantage of the info gathering that you have available to you. And Last Shot trying to get out of that one. And instead, Snakebite's going to hunt him down. That's going to bring their lead within 2. FaZe Clan, as it stands right now, they're still holding firm here. They're still in this one.
Yeah, FaZe in the lead. One thing I really liked about that camo play is FaZe, they first wait out the first 20 seconds or so, and then they made their own push towards bags. You can do that because obviously at some point if that camo player was already in your backs, you would have seen them, you would have been engaged. But you force that camo to make a longer flank, and then you do an unpredictable piece of aggression across the map. You can't just stay stagnant forever.
Yeah.
Teams will pick that apart. But it is so difficult to deal with random aggression.
Yeah, you got to mix things up at this level. Otherwise, these teams, as you had heard Bestman in that interview with Blaze, they will find your tendencies. They will punish those tendencies as well. Snakebite, though, look to see if he can get that hip-fire snipe, but it does not work out. Now it's going to go in the hands of Cycle, who gets his first kill, and is going to bring that snipe all the way back toward green.
Is he going to pour it back? Do it.
Do it. Pour it back in his face.
Come on.
No,
right,
there's no shot. Trippy's right there waiting for him if he decides to. Ooh, that could have been a little dicey there. FaZe Clan managed to extend that lead within 3.
This is a little worrisome, though, for Shopify. Even though it's only a 2-kill game and you have Sniper in the hands of Cycle, FaZe have been winning this game with fewer power-ups and fewer power weapons.
What does that tell you in that instance, Walsh? Like, that FaZe is still able to do it despite not being able to control those key elements in the game?
It tells me that when they start to get those elements in the game, they're going to pull ahead even further. But it shows that they just have a really solid defense that Shopify aren't able to really break. Obviously, they must have done some research. They've studied these guys. They have to know some of their aggressive tendencies. And sometimes when you have those aggressive players, something like a Last Shot, and you can cut down that initial push against somebody, it just makes things that much easier. Because this moment that you turn an aggressive player back on their back foot and they no longer keep charging, their gameplay shifts drastically. Players in these teams play around those top players, and no, he did not get the back smack like he thought.
You hate
Gets
to
one
see
in return.
You hate to see it.
Oh boy. They'll need to recover from that one, Shopify. But FaZe Clan still holding on to this lead here. Every single kill that comes through, FaZe is trying to make sure they either trade or they have someone there to catch that one-shot player so he can continue to maintain this.
Shopify might have to charge a refund on that back, Jack. Am I right?
Come on, Dave.
All right.
Oh, actually, just got word, Dave, you're fired.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's great. 44-41. FaZe Clan looking to get back into this one here, and they're so close to being able to do so. Big kills coming in now. Penguin as well as Snakebite getting theirs. But at the same time, though, you're seeing Shopify do their absolute damnedest to stay right there with them. But as the game starts to get a little crazy here, and they locked in that 49th kill thanks to a double kill from Trippy, they're looking for that last one. And, well, it's last shot over toward that nest. And you got two more players. They're going to be tucked away by the tower, another one over toward that elbow. And they're just waiting this one out, waiting for them to make that mistake because they know that the onus is going to have to be on Shopify to make this move.
Yeah, I mean, still 3 minutes, plenty of time to make any sort of move. It's gonna, I wouldn't be surprised if FaZe decide to charge and try and trade this out, but they've also been fine on the defensive end, as we've seen, when they haven't had camo and when they haven't had snipe.
Now, you would be a little, it would be fair if you were a little tense in this moment.
Yeah, it's not a full guarantee
This
here.
isn't
it's not
a guarantee.
Like, yeah, we have seen crazier things happen on this map, but there it is. Penguin closing it out from what was a dominating game one from Shopify. Turns into a tied series by FaZe.
Not gonna lie, bro, my palms were a little sweaty. I was like, oh boy, is this happening? But instead, no, FaZe managed to stabilize. They'll tie this series up 1-1. Do this. Map 3. We got FaZe's Trippy to kick things off.
Trippy in trouble from that peak shot from Royal 2. He had that slight geometry advantage and pushed it to its fullest. That's going to be all 4 down for FaZe off that start. We're not going to see a trip cap here. Looks like they're spawning long haul, so you're not going to see Shopify likely force that or push it, but they're definitely going to put some points on the board.
This is not what FaZe Clan wanted to start things off. And in fact, they're going for that trip cap. They got him pinned down there. Right inside of the gold area. Cycle saw that player, so he's on the hunt for Lucid. Up top 2, big fight happening here. If Cycle's able to win this, they can keep this trip cap going. Good rotation there from Cycle, though, just to reset himself, give himself a little bit added health, and just lean on the support of his teammates to get into that hill. And he might just be able to squeak by here. This kid's staying alive.
Lucid was picked off as well. Some of those B hills are so devastating if you don't get that flip. You get to 90% of the way, someone just taps their toe in it, resets it, and you gotta do all that work all over again. And 45 points right off the bat here for Shopify Rebellion.
Both teams giving each other a little bit of a high-five melee miss there before the battle happened on gold. Penguin, though, he's gonna go, I was about to say, getting back into the fray there, but it will get dropped instantly. That's A and B control, though, regardless for FaZe Clan. As you noted before, Dave, that Rebellion start was hot, but FaZe Clan have more than enough tools to be able to get back into this one.
I like this play from Snakebite as well. Some people, the moment that they get beat, they just sprint out and sometimes give away their position and just die. You have to find the right opportunity to leave the batteries. You don't want to give away any free kills at this level of play.
They're scooping them up here. Some big kills. And there's also going to be a camo available. Wait a minute. Roll 2.
Royal 2 was weak as well. Yeah, like I said, he sometimes just has those immaculate timings against these top players. He was also one shot, so I'm pretty sure you saw Snakebite run in there, trying to finish off the one shot, and Royal 2 jumping at the exact right moment.
Living that sneaky beaver lifestyle. Here's another trip cap activated for Shopify Rebellion. And even though FaZe Clan came back into this one, it was within shooting distance of 10 points-ish, it is still Shopify Rebellion with a decent amount of control here. That double kill might actually get things going now for FaZe Clan. They have to flip this. Nice challenge coming in there from last shot, just giving him no comfort in that catwalk.
Actually, a little surprised we didn't get more ground from FaZe there.
I agree.
From that double kill from Lucid, along with that extra damage towards the battery side. Obviously, one perspective doesn't give the whole story, but many times when you see somebody doing that much work and that much damage, it usually works out in that team's favor.
Certainly will have to be kicking yourself there in that situation, but they'll have another one presented to them. A Shopify Rebellion cross that 100-point threshold. Last shot getting hit with the sticky. So he's going to be out of the equation for the time being. They got a body on to be here. They're waiting for that push that potentially could come from that bat ledge, but it's not going to come to fruition. Instead, it's going to be a capture and a secure. Frosty might be dead in a moment, which he is. World 2's also going to be in a tough spot too, but Trippy and company might be able to wipe him away, and they managed to do so successfully. That gives them 50 plus, and they're going to keep building off of this.
Yeah, FaZe in a really good spot. They know that they got all 4 down. They know exactly where the spawns are. Now it's up to them if they're just going to hold this double cap or if they're going to try to press for more. I like the fact that they are trading A for C. You'd rather have this A-B setup in this situation.
More cover, opportunities for rotation. You don't have to deal with that long haul. There's a lot of areas where you just don't want to be at, especially when they got the guns like this.
Also, when you're comparing the A hill versus the C hill,
yeah.
A is just secluded on its own in the elevator. Somebody, you have to really round that corner to be a factor in that fight. Whereas the C stronghold, you can be peppering from across the map. You can fight that from batteries, you can fight from so many locations. It's a much more vulnerable location.
Very, very true. And, well, you know, wondering here, how does Shopify try and stop the bleeding? Might be World 2 with this camo, but no. Good reads as they manage to stop that one. So Trippy not having any of that business. It's going to get that reset onto B. And now we're so close to FaZe Clan taking this lead. But Shopify Rebellion do not want to let them get back into this game, but I don't think they have much of a choice as FaZe Clan are right back in it.
Yeah, kills traded back and forth, and when you're the team that has more strongholds, you will happily trade. Shopify need to get in a situation where they trade positively, and that's not going to help when cycle goes down like that.
Already a one-shot thanks to the green gun there. Drains the shield so much quicker because of the plasma energy. They do flip the A side there, but there goes one of the members of FaZe Clan, Trippy, to receive that player on the catwalk. They have one more person they have to handle over there, and that was Cycle. And he does get the stick onto him, but there is going to be plenty of FaZe Clan members there to pick up on that A hill.
Yeah, FaZe are going to pick up A, but I felt like they grabbed it a little too delayed. It seems like it took a while, and you kind of saw Frosty out by himself for a little bit over there. I mean, sorry, Lucid by himself over there.
Now Shopify get back into this. BC control, they want A, as we noted before. That A site, that A hold is so vital, especially when you're playing A and B like this. But where is FaZe Clan? They cannot let them get away with this trip cap for too long. They're owning the goal, or like at least 2 players are there toward gold, and you got 2 guys working together on that C side. If they remove him, they're going to be looking to go after C potentially. And Frosty being the warden over here on B.
Yeah, they're just they're taking a little too long, I feel like, from this FaZe side. It felt like they made a good push over into control to give themselves some breathing room, but they never commit and grab C to stop this bleeding. This is now spiraling a little bit out of control in favor of Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, at first I was like, okay, I like the fact that they're playing a little slower.
Yeah, like you don't want to just desperate it right away, but right here, you've now had 50 uncontested points here from this trip cap.
Yeah, now you have no other choice. You have to make this happen.
They got to sprint now.
And this is where things are going to get dicey for FaZe Clan.
And look at this. Looks like they're going to try their push over towards C, which they've tried before, but they didn't commit to this 50 seconds ago. Why now?
Big taps maybe coming in here for FaZe Clan, but a big stop, bigger, I should say, stop from Trippy. Removing that player who could have been a real problem for them over toward that control. Cycle, though, navigating down low. They managed to get A. They'll continue to hold on to this one as they're getting ever so close to ending this. And if anything, it just goes to show how yes, you can play a little bit of a slower game from time to time, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. And Shopify Rebellion certainly embodying that.
Yeah, Shopify back in control of 2 strongholds. Looks like B is going to flip. And yeah, I gotta say, if there's any moment that you could argue about this game, you gotta say FaZe had too much hesitancy and did not commit during that middle trip cap.
Well, maybe there's a chance here.
There's always a chance.
This is Stronghold, so if you get that trip cap, you're right back in this bad boy. And it's 19 points that Shopify Rebellion need to win map 3. Beautiful 360 from Snakebite there. Now, in this situation, Dave, are you trying to force that trip cap to get back into this, or do you think that it's sound to go for the AB hold?
It's not a force situation, but when the opportunity presents itself, you take it. So you don't go and say, we're going to try to charge and kill them over at the side and then push into the trip cap. Instead, you're going to let them make their push, stop it successfully, and take the trip cap if available.
Well, it seems like Shopify saw the opportunity to go after B, and they grabbed it as soon as they possibly could. Now things are going to get a little bit hairy here for FaZe Clan, as they only need 10 points left, Shopify, in order for them to win this. Trippy, though, with that camo, might actually be able to get this B Stronghold here, which would be massive. Cycle's looking for the target.
It's usually in back at L2 or R2, so Cycle looking in the common spots. Trippy with camo doing a great job being at L1 of the battery.
Yeah, can definitely respect that read. That goes to show the work that gets put into this game by both of these teams. Read those tendencies. There was that nade, and look at this, the aggression from Trippy. He wants to fight, but Cycle was ready for him. Doubled back to the back of the gold staircase, and well, he actually gets that melee and survives. 8 points is left for Shopify to win this one. FaZe Clan trying to claw their way back into this, and it's very possible that they can do it.
Yeah, Cycle also being such a huge nuisance over here at the pipes, realizing that as soon as they get the kills or advantage, he can jump into B with his teammate. And here goes. B push coming in. They have the numbers. They convert B. Now FaZe has to somehow make it towards batteries or elevator. I think the push is going to come batteries, Golden Boy.
Yeah, they have no other choice. They got to fly right now, and they won't be able to. Shopify Rebellion picks up the win.
And offish plays.
Yeah, and with CTF on Aquarius, there are a lot of ways you could do exactly that. And hopefully FaZe Clan, for their sake and for their fans' sake, are prepared for it. But let's jump in to map number 4 and see whether or not FaZe Clan can force this map 5, because they need to do it here and now. They need to find that extra oomph that's going to take them to the promised land. But Cycle's already pulling that flag.
Shopify aggressive. They have 3 down for FaZe. Snakebite the last one remaining. I'm not sure if Shopify did their homework or something from Best Man, but they seem to know every single move from FaZe off the rip, and have the counter to go with it.
And there it is, a cap immediately, just a couple of seconds into this game, and you already have Rebellion on the board. But maybe there's an opportunity now for FaZe Clan to get this flag out of the base. You know where the spawns are going to be roughly. There's a big fight happening, World 2 versus Lucid. Good plays there by Lucid. Dodging around that pillar, using it to great effect. They can't get that flag moving quite yet, though.
No, but he's just playing it right. He's trying to be a nuisance over here, laying down damage. I don't think this flag is going to move any further. But had Lucid got another kill, or had somebody from FaZe been able to push a little further across the map, they could have rallied that along.
You heard there, flag gets returned, which is exactly what we knew was going to happen.
3 dead for FaZe again.
Yeah, this is, they are finding themselves in this situation way too often.
I can't tell like how this is kind of playing out for FaZe. Is it they're just being a little too predictable? Like when I saw plays from, let's say, Frosty off the rip of this one, he just sprints straight forward all the way through bottom center.
Yeah.
Something that you consider unorthodox, but feels like they don't have any concern about playing, let's say, the perfect positions or taking the safest routes. They're just flying in some cases.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if we're seeing that same sort of trust or aggression from FaZe.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, this was probably the most measured that they were in their attack onto the FaZe base, because you were seeing Frosty hold control top mid with some supporting fire and, you know, some good pressure that was starting to get put forward here. So it does feel like at any point Rebellion, they can go for that aggression, but they're so good at being able to dial it back and then take their time in case they, you know, maybe overextend a bit too much and give up too much to their opponent.
Yeah, and that's going to be a flag touched once again, but that's 2 down apiece.
3
Next
down
kill's
again.
going to decide this. That's going to be Cycle continuing to move this flag. Royal 2 laying down some shots, but that flag is moving. Now, Cycle did get grenaded by Penguin. So Penguin does go down, but I feel like Shopify will rally this one back or relay it back.
There it is. That's number 2 for the Rebellion, man. And already to start off this game, only a few minutes in, with Rebellion up 2-0, what does FaZe Clan do here? It feels as if the plan of being, you know, a bit more like receiving aggression, punishing aggression, so on and so forth, is simply just not working. And everything that Rebellion does is hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, they seem to be doing everything correct. And right there, even when they finally do get a pull, someone's there to stop right away. It feels like FaZe Clan don't know where the safe routes are, or these Shopify Rebellion members are able to sneak away like this, just getting the first few shots and trading out against Trippy.
Okay, well, you got some kills here if you're FaZe Clan to get things going, but the problem is you also lost a couple of players as well.
You know what I would like to see from FaZe here as you go into these, second 2/3 of this map or whatever. I would like to see them maybe just slow it down a little bit. Just worry about slays. Don't worry about getting the scrappy grab or cap. You know that Shopify are going to be aggressive, and they're going to make moves on you. See if you can catch them with some of the traps like you saw on Livefire Slayer.
Yeah, and I think that that's kind of what Snakebite was aiming for there, right? He knew that there was going to be a player pushing into blue util, so he was prepared for that, and he received it in kind, but now they do need to get this one going, and you're right, they need to just identify a couple of big wins, a couple of big kills, and then just build upon that from there. And you can also see how these guys are jockeying for position right now. It has been difficult for FaZe to get out of their side of the base, though.
Yeah, that doesn't really seem like they're able to cross
furthest player
halfway across the map without being spotted or knocked down.
Uh-oh, and their flag's being pulled again, and I'm pretty sure every single time they pull this flag, they've been successful, based on what I'm seeing at the top there. So this is already looking a little bad here. Might be able to bring this one through. Last shot's got the clearance, Cycle's got the kill. Maybe Lucid alongside Trippy can make the stop happen, but it was already too far gone. Maybe now FaZe Clan can get a counter cap potentially.
Just so quick, I mean, they have 3 down. Do they know where Frosty's at? They know the last one's on the flag. This is going to be the best chance that FaZe has. But somehow, Lucid gets picked off across the map while he's top center.
Not every day that you see Lucid really struggling to be able to get himself into these games. And even though both teams are really, fighting their all here, man, you're just seeing Rebellion just moving and shaking. And they are all over them. I mean, look, they just, just as everything happened, they returned the flag, all that good stuff. They're already in their faces again when FaZe Clan is off the respawn. There's one player left alive. That's a triple kill for the Legend Frosty himself. And they're bringing this flag through, right up the gut. This could be flag number 4 here. And they have so many members down for FaZe Clan, but finally the stop comes through from Snakebite.
So much trust in each other there from the Shopify side. They're not afraid to play their lives. They're also, when they're one shot, not afraid just to go sprinting across with that flag and move it back.
Lucid's in a bad spot. He's one shot. He can't really do much to help out in this fight here. But he will send a grenade, so when in doubt, nade it out. And that works out quite well for Lucid. World 2 knows that there's going to be players pushing in here who's making the call-outs. You can see at that moment in time, but FaZe Clan now, this is the best opportunity that they have as they bring that flag across. Could be their first one on the board. A nice slide across that way. Might have cleared the path.
I don't know about the slays across the map. I'm not sure if he's run this right away. Just like that, grenade's still stopping him. Looks like Lucid has to stop this and slay from him. This could be disastrous. We'll see. Lucid does slam that first flag in, much needed for FaZe. Now they have to play a little bit of defense. They cannot allow a counter cap here.
Yeah, because that looked like it could have been a stop with some nades right at the blue util door, but instead he gets the cap and also gets a kill on the furthest ahead player from Shopify.
I just got to probably give Lucid more credit there. He has to have known that he had the clear route, had to have known that players from Shopify weren't as close as maybe I was giving them credit for.
Sure.
And just slammed it in.
But we've also seen that situation play out exactly as you called it so many times in the past. So it's not far off to be like, oh, you know what, you want to be a little bit more mindful in these situations. But you're right, Lucid certainly knows better than the two of us here, so he's going to be able to make that cap happen for his team. But with 5 minutes left and how much effort it took for them to get that flag across the field, FaZe Clan have so much more work ahead of them.
Yeah, they got to get this going, and I like this play from Trippy trying to be a nuisance here, but you got to wonder, he's the only one by himself, and he's got pressure back on his flag. Now he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, not sure if he should help his defender or save his own life. Gets into one-on-one against Last Shot and gets finished off.
Man, some of these thrusters have been so great to break the crosshair placement for these players, but sometimes, man, it just does not work out in your favor. Attempted flag pull here for Rebellion. It's going to bring that FaZe flag out just a little bit. Meanwhile, on the other side of that, Rebellion losing their flag off of some big wins.
And Rebellion fine to trade this time. They're fine just to burn a little time on the clock, trade out slays. As long as they are not giving up caps in these situations, Rebellion are going to be totally okay.
Yeah, the ideal situation here, I think, for Rebellion is if they're able to milk
this
like
is tough.
1
There's
or 2
all
minutes.
4, and they did not get that touch. Snakebite was so close to that. That would have been amazing if Snakebite was able to get that last second touch. But another slay comes in from the captain. Let's see what he does with this.
They're trying to milk this time here, Rebellion, to just put that pressure onto FaZe Clan. With that flag down, and with Rebellion getting yet another power item, one has to wonder, right? I mean, we saw FaZe do it before right, without those power items, how they were able to defend these big pushes that Shopify Rebellion were putting together. But this time around, man, it has been pretty much all defensive play for FaZe Clan outside of that one cap. And it took a lot for them to get that first one in. 2 players stuck in the back of the base as well. Last shot's got that camo. He's getting a little info for the team, too. There you go. Bye-bye.
Interesting. He saw players so far back on the flag and thought he could slip it out all the way towards the bottom car with some cover fire. Can work under certain circumstances. Did not work this time.
Lucid and company need to get that flag back to their base. Good kill onto Royal 2. She sent him packing for a second there. Oh, what a nade. Just removing Lucid from the fight altogether and leaving those 2 players over by Util to have to scrap through that, which they are managing to do so, and Lucid's getting another go at it here.
I like this 2 collapsing in from both sides of this flag. Lucid get behind enemy lines, but Royal 2 gets the back smack. This flag is trying to move, but they need the Slaves to match it. That's Lucid and Penguin down. I don't think Snakebite can run this in.
Oh, no. Frosty hits him with a nade from downtown, and that's going to prevent Snakebite from moving forward with this flag toward the blue util. No one in range should be able to stop it, and that's a return.
They just go straight for the recov there. I think if this was earlier in the game, Shopify would have prioritized the counter cap, but knowing that time is against FaZe here, they want to ensure they just get that return.
This is probably the best possible situation for Rebellion as well, right? Because FaZe Clan, they've been milking that time, and FaZe have not had those chances.
And also what Shopify's doing here is they aren't fully committing to the run just yet. They want to create some panic here for FaZe. FaZe not really taking the bait. However, Snakebite and Trippy both fall down. Frosty's going to move this again.
And more importantly, too, get the touch just so that this way that meter doesn't go down more. And that one-shot player can't really go in there to try and make the return happen.
Well, we got a crazy flag standoff-ish scenario, and both getting recoved. Not good for FaZe as a couple more minutes on the clock have been burned with no flag caps going in their favor. That's 3 down, though. Last one they know is last shot. This is going to be a FaZe flag grab as fast as they can get over there.
And they're going to need to fly, Penguin. I know Penguins don't normally fly, but you're going to need to fly here, buddy. But they can't do it. And Shopify stabilizing back in the base, and they're just prioritizing these numbers. You do have a camo player, though, trying to make a big play.
Yeah.
That could work out.
This is helpful, but once again, it's time. They're putting themselves in a position where they have to get one more round of Slay. So they get all 4 down. This is going to be a FaZe flag moving across the map. Now, the question is, do they turn this into double cap, or do they regroup and do a push together?
Only 1 minute if they're able to get this cap in. And that would not tie it up, but if they're able to do it here, that will get them one step closer. But my goodness, it's been such a slog for them to get these flag caps in. FaZe, though, within 1, but they only have less than a minute to be able to do so. Otherwise, it's going to be curtains. We are seeing, though, a flagpole happen. Is it a desperation one? Is there anything behind it? The flag is going to be stopped right out the courtyard, right in front of the base there for Rebellion. Lucid gets the trade. That's great for Shopify, and there goes the return. With 37 seconds, Dave, this could very well be curtains.
One last good push. Basically, FaZe are going to have to use a couple, 15 seconds here to move across the map, get at least middle of the map, and let somebody sneak in. But I like this. Shopify, they're not turtling up. They're taking up more ground on the map, forcing FaZe to fight for this. Somehow, Penguin slips by, gets all the way over the Shopify base.
Can he make this happen? But he pulls that flag and immediately is going to get hit. And that is so unfortunate for him. He thought he had the opening. 10 seconds remaining. That flag is going to be away, though. If they make that return happen, it will be over. World 2 in their base. He's got eyes on it. He's going to pull the flag of his own just for a time here. Playing his life. Frosty, again, seeing a double kill for him on screen. Penguin having to fly across. They do not want to let that flag get returned. It is returned. That's going to do it. Shopify Rebellion ready for their date with OpTic Gaming as they defeat FaZe Clan 3-1.